So I came up with the concept of Black Girl Magic, just coming to terms with my own Blackness and my own feelings of self-worth when it comes to being an Afro-Indigenous woman. I really wanted to make a piece that was a love letter to Black women and girls. I wanted it to be not focused on, all the trials and tribulations we face. So I wanted to have as many backgrounds, perspectives, shades, ages that I could. I wanted to ask questions that I even felt that I was asking myself or afraid to answer myself. So it was a way to just, gather many close people in my life together and just have this open conversation. And it was super therapeutic for me too, because I wanted to ask questions that I felt weren't being answered when I was younger or that weren't being talked about. And, there are so many perspectives in this documentary. There's a 14-year-old, there's a 7-year-old, there's 2 deaf women. It's something that I've really, wanted to focus on in terms of my art and my filmmaking, is including different perspectives. So we shot it on 16 millimeter, so it's super rich. Dennis just did such an amazing job. I wanted it to be so intentional, everything. So I know that when you're shooting on digital, it's, just easier to be like, okay, can we do this? Okay, no. Talking to the subjects too, we're shooting this on film, so you won't be able to see any playback, just so you know, blah, blah, blah. But it also, for them, I think, felt way more vulnerable. There were some tears as they said their piece, right? Because it's so, it was such an important message. But, seeing, Dennis use the camera and go up to their faces while they're talking or just getting that B-roll, it was super interactive and super intimate, just so intimate, that I think matches the story. When I was younger, I didn't see representation that was healthy. I want this, again, to just be a love letter to Black women and girls to feel beautiful and empowered and special and unique and so much more. And then again, just to show Black creatives that you can make what you want to make and tell the stories you want to tell. When shooting the Red Mind music video, we came up with a couple concepts. I knew that I wanted it to be super simple and just having her be center. And I knew I wanted zooms, lots of beautiful slow zooms in and out at certain parts of the song. As a queer artist, Maddie really wanted to visually explain her first queer love with very beautiful, soft imagery. I really wanted to showcase Maddie in her glory. And I think I get overwhelmed as a filmmaker to think that everything needs this big story to follow. And while that's super important in a lot of filmmaking, I found that her song is very unstructured in a way, the times change here and there. So we wanted to keep, match the visuals to her music. I knew that I wanted different colors or different landscapes. So I knew I wanted a water scene at 5 a.m. with the beautiful orange purple sky. I wanted the blue sky, and I wanted a plain field. I just knew I wanted different colors of the environment. Some of the challenges with that was that shooting times kept delaying just because of certain schedule conflicts. So it was getting colder and colder. We ended up shooting it in October versus August, which we wanted. I knew I wanted this water scene, and Maddie was such a trooper. She's like, you know what, let's just get the shot. It was freezing. We wanted to do this lake scene, but it was really cold. So we had bought a pool from Canadian Tire the night before. And we're like, let's just put this in a backyard and get plants. And let's just have, make everything so that it looks like a lake. And it ended up working pretty well, I think. We really love film, 16 millimeter film. And so, we knew we wanted to have that kind of grainy effect, and we knew that we wanted to have the colors pop, but not too, modern. Red Mind was so fun to shoot. I think we overcame so many obstacles. It just became funny in the end, and I know we're super excited to work together again in the future, and it was a great first music video experience. I've always had this idea. It's been on one of my, in my treatment folder, all my ideas I put into treatments, that I thought about this treatment that I had been sitting on, And so I was like, maybe this is like the time to just shoot it, because it's so easy to sit on projects and just not feel confident to start it. And so let's make this something that I've always wanted to create. I always just am drawn to characters that are, taboo in society or underrepresented perspectives, backgrounds, stories. So not only did I want a point ballerina, I love the fact that Kat, who is the subject, is covered in tattoos. She dances in like her sweats and a big baggy sweater, and I just loved her character. Like, I did a huge sweep of the internet and just would search like tags like unconventional ballerina, or you know what I mean, and she came up and she was so down to be part of the project. I took dance for years when I was younger, and I specifically felt so out of place in the ballet classes. My twin sister and I were the only Black, dancers in the class, and we didn't feel welcomed, you know what I mean? So that's why I chose to focus on an unconventional ballerina. And then also, we weren't ever trained or felt confident enough to train to do point ballet. So it was my way to just like revisit that dream I had when I was a young dancer of like, what goes into this craft that I never got the opportunity to experience. The challenges I faced with this documentary was my self-confidence, because that was like, I believe, the first thing I ever shot. So the challenge was, feeling confident enough to shoot this myself and, not waste this person's time. And again, like I was learning the entire day, and this Kat and I became like soul sisters in the span of 2 hours. Like, she was talking about being new to ballet. I'm like, this is my first day I'm shooting. So it was a challenge to just feel more confident that I could pull off, shooting this piece. I want this film to be a representation that you can be whatever you want to be in whatever field you want to be in.